From the negotiating table to military strikes. What happened between the US, Israel, and Iran? Follow this page, Eco Channel TV, for more updates on international news. In early 2026, global attention once again turned to the Middle East as high-stakes talks unfolded between the United States and the Islamic Republic of Iran over Tehran's nuclear program. These negotiations were meant to prevent a wider conflict and secure a diplomatic path forward. For weeks, U.S. envoys, including presidential representatives, met with Iranian officials in multiple rounds of indirect talks in locations like Oman and Geneva. The goal was clear: persuade Iran to limit its nuclear activities and accept international monitoring in exchange for sanctions relief and economic incentives. But while negotiators discussed terms, Iran continued to insist on its right to enrich uranium and pushed back against demands for a complete halt to its nuclear program. Tehran offered increased supervision in some technical areas, but refused the central U.S. requirement to stop uranium enrichment entirely. At the same time, U.S. officials warned that failing to reach a deal could force Washington to consider military options. Offers on the table included significantly reducing Iran's nuclear capabilities or accepting non-weapons-grade nuclear fuel for peaceful uses. But these proposals failed to satisfy Tehran's leadership. Behind the scenes, intelligence operations were intensifying. The U.S. Central Intelligence Agency and allied services, including Israel's intelligence agency Mossad, spent months tracking the movements and communications of key Iranian leaders, including Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and other senior officials. This tracking involved analyzing patterns of life, understanding leadership routines, and sharing information that would later prove critical if military action were ordered. As negotiations continued with little progress, Iranian leaders grew defiant. Officials publicly rejected what they called excessive demands and refused to halt enrichment, even as U.S. diplomats warned that this path could lead to armed conflict rather than compromise. When diplomatic channels closed without agreement and intelligence confirmed key Iranian leaders' locations, joint U.S.-Israeli military action was launched in late February 2026. In a coordinated series of airstrikes, multiple sites were hit nearly simultaneously. Among the casualties reported by multiple sources was Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and dozens of senior military and intelligence officials. The attacks marked a dramatic escalation in regional tensions. World leaders reacted with a mixture of shock, condemnation, and calls for de-escalation. Some nations warned that such strikes could fuel further instability rather than secure long-term peace. For many analysts, the sequence of events, from failed diplomacy to military action, highlights the difficulty of negotiating nuclear issues when foundational demands remain unresolved and mistrust runs deep. Whether through dialogue or deterrence, the world continues to wrestle with how best to prevent nuclear proliferation and maintain peace. What happened in 2026 will shape international strategy and diplomacy for years to come.